Welcome to another episode of Preparing for Pregnancy After Loss. This is your host, Natalie Facey, and I am so grateful to be connecting with you again today. And thank you for tuning in. Thank you for learning about how to support yourself in your pregnancy after loss or your pregnancy after infertility. This episode is extra special for me because I will be sharing with you one of the tools that have been most beneficial in my healing. It really is sort of the foundation to almost everything else that works in my healing process and to a lot of the processes that I share with the women and birthing people that I work with. I'm excited to share it with you today. I'm recording this on a Sunday morning in New York City. It's still somewhat early in the sense that everyone isn't up and about yet. So it still feels a little bit quiet. You might hear some cars or the trains passing by, but it's definitely still a very chill vibe. I'm sitting in my living room with a cup of lavender chamomile tea that smells just so delicious and so soothing. And within me is this sense of calm. So, wherever you are, whatever day this is, whatever is happening in your environment, if this energy resonates with you, then I invite you to also take it in. You can also allow that to be a part of your internal space if this is something that resonates with you. What I'm going to be sharing today is understanding the emotions and really working with the emotions from a place of understanding where you are versus trying to be somewhere else. Working with the emotions from a place of acknowledging the value and the message that they bring versus trying to force them back down or trying to pretend that they're not there, because the emotions are really important and really valuable, and they are understanding them is necessary in your healing. Understanding them and acknowledging them is a necessary part of your healing. And this theme or this topic has been with me for probably the past 2 weeks, and I've been working with it and allowing it to mold in the way that it needed to express. And just yesterday, while I was on Instagram, I came up on a quote from a birth warrior. And what this person shared in her post was that she wished she wasn't jealous of pregnant people. And I thought, yeah, actually, it's fine that you're jealous of pregnant people. It's totally fine. That is a valid emotion. It's also a necessary emotion in the sense that experiencing that and being able to move through that, not only is it giving you a lot of information about where you are in your journey, but it's also necessary because to continue to move through your healing process, jealousy is one of the emotions on that journey. And from moving through jealousy, you're able to go to what I would call higher emotions, emotions with higher energy or higher vibration. There is a model that I subscribe to that has been really helpful for me, and that's what I'm going to share with you. So, if you've heard of Abraham Hicks, they are spiritual teachers and they teach something called the scale of emotions. Within the scale of emotions, there are 22 main emotional states that humans experience. Now, this scale goes from joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, love, that those are all at the top. Moving down, there might be optimism, moving down, hopefulness, contentment, going down even further, frustration, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, anger, jealousy is going down from anger, fear, grief, desperation. That's at the very, very bottom of this scale. Now, I like to look at this scale from the bottom up. And I can't remember if this is how Abraham teaches it, but this is the way that has been most useful for me. So at the very bottom of the scale, again, is fear, grief, despair, powerlessness. And moving up from fear, I find insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. I find jealousy. Going up, I find anger. Moving up, I find blame. And as I keep going up, I might get to pessimism. Boredom is semi neutral. Contentment, hopefulness, optimism. And as I keep going up, I find enthusiasm, passion, joy, freedom, love, appreciation. What's important to highlight here is that whatever emotional state that you're in, you have the opportunity to keep going higher. Now, the risk with not processing an emotion and not moving through it is that you're sort of stuck there, right? So, going back to jealousy, without, and I'm going to say embracing, because it's an acknowledgement that jealousy is where I am right now, and it's embracing it like, all right, I'm jealous. Like, seeing this pregnant person or knowing that this person is having the experience that I want to have, it's causing me to experience jealousy. And that's okay because all of our emotions are natural. Emotions are natural reactions that are happening in the body as a result of something that we've interacted with. And so, if we've interacted with something as difficult as loss, like losing a baby or having difficulty becoming pregnant, which in itself is another form of loss, it's a loss of the family and the life that you want. If you've gone through something so difficult and so painful, is it not understandable that you would experience jealousy? Is it not understandable that seeing someone else with the life that you want, that you would experience jealousy? It's totally normal. But by shutting down the emotion of jealousy, by squelching within you that emotion that is wanting to rise up, then not only are you experiencing the hurt of your loss, but you're experiencing the hurt of not being able to express and move through that emotion. I'm going to pause there for a bit. Let me take a sip of tea because I feel like that was a lot and I really want you to be able to soak that in. So I'm pausing and I'm slurping. Okay, we've taken a breath there. Jealousy and all of the emotions that you're experiencing are not only normal, they're also necessary. What I want to add to this framework is a way to understand energy is that it is communicating to you the impact that an experience is having on you. So it's communicating to you that when someone says something to you and it makes you angry, that is the impact or the reaction that is happening within you. Anger. Now, why are you experiencing anger? You're experiencing anger because someone has pushed beyond your personal boundaries. The personal boundaries that you have for yourself and that you know, someone has pushed beyond them by saying something inappropriate. When you're experiencing sadness. There is something that has caused you to experience this emotion of sadness. This emotion of sadness is communicating to you that the thing that you just experienced, it has pulled down your energy. It has moved you to this state of feeling low and this state of really feeling the grief and the loss. Excitement, the emotion of excitement, is also communicating something to you. The other thing that I want to add to that is that emotions are energy in motion. Emotions are energy in motion. And this book is The Body Keeps a Score: Brain, Mind, and Body in the Healing of Trauma. And this book was written by Bessel van der Kolk. What I'm about to read to you is just a little line on emotions. Emotions, from the Latin emovere, to move, give shape and direction to whatever we do, and their primary expression is through the muscles of the face and body. So emotions give shape and direction to whatever we do. By watching the body or by noticing the body, you'll see the primary expressions of the emotion. So the anger, the sadness, the joy, you'll be able to understand that someone else or an animal or a mammal, sorry, my Jamaican accent, is having those emotions. So the other thing that I want to jump to is this line. The fundamental purpose of emotions is to initiate movement that will restore the organism, human or mammal, to safety and physical equilibrium. The fundamental purpose of emotions is to initiate movement. Emotions initiate the movement of energy, which will then restore us to safety and physical equilibrium. Restore us to safety and balance. So I pulled that quote because it further establishes the purpose that our emotions serve. Firstly, they're showing us what direction or what action that needs to be taken, and they are meant to move within us. They are meant to move within us and out of us so that we can move back to a place of balance. And all of our emotions have movement with them. There are chain reactions that are happening within our body. So even if we don't see the physical expression of sadness, one expression of sadness is crying. So there is movement and motion of the tears coming from your eyes. But even if someone is sad and they're not showing tears, there are movement of the muscles in their face that are showing that sadness. There are chain reactions that are happening in the body for every single emotion, whether or not it is obvious what the physical expression outside of the body is. Now, something else that Bessel van der Kolk goes into in this book is that, and this is him further explaining about going back to a state of equilibrium. So, when we are experiencing sadness, having someone observe that sadness on our face or within our body, it really is a call for them to support us. It is a call for them to shower us with their care and their love so that we can go back to a state of balance. We can go back to that equilibrium. When we are in a state of anger, when someone has done something to push beyond our personal boundaries that lead to the emotion of anger, it's telling them to step the F away. It's telling them to back up before you have to defend yourself. So, in anger, what's happening in the body is that your heart is pumping faster, your blood is rushing through your veins, your body is preparing for that fight or flight response. Most likely fight. Your body is preparing to defend yourself because something or someone has angered you. So your reaction of anger is showing them that they need to step back because you're about to pounce on them. That basically is what that's showing. Whether or not you move to respond to further respond in that way, the natural reaction of anger is a warning sign for somebody else that, hey, they are doing something that is offensive to you right now and they need to stop because it's leading to this defense mechanism within you. Excitement. When you are excited, there's movement there too. There, I don't know if you noticed my voice just now, but my pitch just went up as I was expressing this energy of excitement. So there's movement in the sound of your voice. There is movement in your body, you know? So all of the emotions have movement associated with them. All of the emotions are energy in motion, which means that they are meant to move. I'll go back to the example of jealousy. No, when you're experiencing jealousy, again, your emotion is valid, it is right, and you get to move through that to get yourself back to a state of equilibrium. No, a way to move through that, there are different things that are going to happen in your body when you feel jealous. So your shoulders might shrink in this state of jealousy, or there might be like a wincing in your face. There are different things that are happening on a physical level when you're experiencing jealousy and all of the other emotions. But a way to move through it, a way to allow it to move, could be by journaling. It could be by processing that emotion. Where is this jealousy coming from? And how does this jealousy show up? What circumstances or environments am I in when I notice the jealousy? So a way of moving the emotion could be writing. It could be dancing with the emotion of jealousy. It could be going for a jog. It could be restoring within your body something that leads you to feeling strong, something that leads you to feeling confident within yourself. The reason why I'm sharing this is moving through the emotions are really the key to healing. And so the reason why I went into all of what I went into about how the emotions work is because this is the key to healing. This is the key to getting back to a state of balance, because being ashamed of your jealousy, not only are you hurt once again because of your loss, but you're hurt again because of the shame that's associated with your jealousy. I'm going to go back to the scale of emotions from Abraham's teachings. And this is going to be available in the show notes. So don't worry if you can't really envision all of the emotions. You'll have it available to you so that you can print it out, you can look at it, and you can identify where you are on the scale and what higher emotions you have access to. So I'm going to go all the way from the bottom. Jealousy is at number 20. At number 21, so just below jealousy, is insecurity. It's guilt and a sense of unworthiness. And with all of those emotions, I would also put shame. Shame feels like it could go along those lines with insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. And so, if you're experiencing all of those emotions, insecurity or guilt or unworthiness, jealousy actually feels better than that. Jealousy is a step up from that. So know that your jealousy is on the right track and you get to keep going. All right. I'm moving up. I'm at number 17 and I am at anger. Now, your anger might be towards your doctor, which I know for sure that I experience anger towards my doctor because it's like, what the hell? Why didn't you see this coming and why can't you do something? It doesn't mean that he actually did anything wrong, but I was experiencing anger, and I needed to direct my anger towards something or someone that felt responsible in that moment. So, anger is on the way up from, I'll call it the ladder, because it's just a better way for me to visualize the scale of emotions. So, I'm going up the ladder. Anger is on the way up the ladder from jealousy. Yes. I'm going up. I'm going up. I'm at number 15, and I'm at blame. So, when I can blame someone for what I experienced, when I can blame someone for the loss, it's up the ladder from anger. Blame has more relief, more release, higher energy than anger. So if you're in blame, you're good. Keep going. If you're in blame, that is perfect. Keep going. All right, I'm going up the ladder, and I'm at disappointment. Up from disappointment is pessimism. And pessimism is such an important one because I have seen this a lot and I've also experienced it. When you are worried about being disappointed, when you're worried that going through your pregnancy after loss can lead to disappointment, or when you're worried that the next fertility treatment might lead to disappointment, being pessimistic is actually a better feeling than that disappointment. Now, isn't that so special to know? And the reason why I think it's so special to know is that when people observe your pessimism and they say, think positive, this might work out, or God is on your side, or third time's a charm, whatever encouraging words people outside of you who aren't experiencing the emotions that you're experiencing, who aren't aware of where you are on the scale, when they share their positivity with you and they try to get you out of this state of pessimism, they don't understand that your pessimism is better than the disappointment, that it's actually better than the blame and all of the other emotions that you have gone through out of this whole scale of emotions. If you're in pessimism right now, I really want you to embrace your pessimism because it is natural. Not only is it natural, it is right. It's where you are and it's right. As we move up from pessimism, what we might find, well, what we will find, because it's there on the scale, is hopefulness. So from pessimism, we have access to hopefulness. And as I'm sharing all of these, as we're going up the scale, if I haven't made this abundantly clear, the way to move up the scale is to embrace where you are right now. You cannot move from pessimism to hopefulness. So, your best friend or even your partner trying to convince you to be hopeful, you cannot move to hopefulness without embracing, understanding the pessimism that you're now experiencing. Once you create space for the pessimism, then you can then move through intentional exercises. There are intentional things that you can do to move yourself from a state of pessimism to a state of optimism or to a state of hopefulness. One of those things that you can do is to expose yourself to the stories of others who have gone through similar experiences. So you can expose yourself to other people who have experienced a loss or other people who have been struggling with infertility And then seeing that eventually they got what they wanted. Eventually they got the family they wanted. And eventually they got the birthing experience that they wanted. And you're drawn to this naturally. You're drawn to, without knowing that this is how the scale of emotion works, or without knowing what the heck the scale of emotions is, you are drawn to experiences that will bring you back to a state of balance. So if you find yourself on Instagram liking stories of people who say, I've been on this birth warrior journey for so long, and here I am taking home my baby. Like, it's been so long, but here we are right now with the family that we want. Those stories lift you up, and you're drawn to them because your body, your being, is calling things into you, or calling you to things that are going to lift you to that higher energetic state, higher emotional state. Now, up from hopefulness and optimism, which are at number 5 and 6, are enthusiasm, eagerness, happiness at number 3. Imagine being eager about your next pregnancy. Imagine being genuinely happy about your next pregnancy, even before the baby's here. But during pregnancy, being genuinely happy and genuinely eager that things are going to work out. And again, that takes work, because in your pregnancy after loss or infertility, there are so many things that are going to come up there. You're going to have doubt, you're going to have worry, you're going to have pessimism, you're going to experience overwhelmment, all of these emotions that you experience. But there are intentional ways for you to move through them, and ways that I can share with you, ways that I share with my clients, how to move through them intentionally, to acknowledge what is and to move through them intentionally. And at the very top of the scale is joy, appreciation, empowerment, freedom, and love. Those are the highest emotional states that humans experience. Let me take another sip of tea, because that was juicy. That was juicy to know that all of our emotions are right. We don't have to stifle them, we don't have to hide them. They are really messengers saying that thing that you experience, this is the impact that it has on you. And not only is this the impact that it has on you, but this is how you move so that you can go back to a state of balance. That is the key to our emotions. That is the power and the gift of our emotions. In the coming episodes, what I'll be diving deeper into is the different emotions that we experience and how to work with each of those. So I know that some of the top ones are the grief, the sadness, the anger, the shame, the guilt. Those are big in healing from loss. I'm going to dive deeper into these so that you can understand where they're coming from, how to work with them, and how to move through them. But really, the big takeaway for today is that your emotions are right, your emotions are good, your emotions are communicating to you what's happening in your body and the impact that something has had on you. And so when you're experiencing your emotions, do not feel shame for experiencing them. There is a way to work with them so that you get to move them out of your body and you get to heal them. And the other thing that's really important is that the emotions and the energy that we're experiencing, they are releasing chemicals in our body. Those chemicals in our body are either positive or negative, they're either helpful or they're unhelpful. The emotions or the chemicals that come from the lower or the more negative emotions are releasing things like cortisol in our body, which is keeping us in the state of fight flight, and being in that state over a long period of time brings damage to the body, brings damage to our cells. And so, handling our emotions, it's important on so many levels. There is research that shows that for women and birthing people who are stressed within their pregnancy, who experience PTSD within their pregnancy, who are releasing all of these hormones within their pregnancy, they're at a higher risk of preterm birth. Preterm birth can lead to infant mortality. They're also at a higher risk of having the baby being born with predisposition to certain conditions such as Alzheimer or predisposition to ADHD. And so today I've only gone into the importance of understanding, acknowledging, and moving through the emotions. But there is the whole science behind it of when we don't do this, the impact that it has on our body and the impact that it has on our baby. Let's pause there for today. And in the meantime, I am going to share with you resources that I already have to support you. I already have a closed Facebook group. It's called the Birth Warrior Community. In that Facebook group, you get to connect with other women, other birthing people who are going on this birth warrior journey, who are going on this journey of healing after loss, healing after or through infertility, and moving towards the pregnancy and the family that they dream of. And so, if you identify as a birth warrior, if you identify as someone who is committed to having the life and the family that you want, regardless of whatever has been thrown your way, regardless of whatever cards you've been dealt with, then join that community so that you can have support. I think that or I know for sure, that the birth warrior journey is much easier when you have support. I know for sure that you are able to build more resilience and more strength. You're able to move from a place of optimism and hopefulness when you know that you have the support around you to move through your next pregnancy and to move towards the life that you desire. Join the Birth Warrior community. You'll find the link here in the show notes. I also have an Instagram channel. It's at The Birth Warriors. The Birth Warriors with an S. Oh, you can find me on my website, nataliefacey.com, and you'll find all of those in the show notes. And again, thank you for hanging out with me on this glorious Sunday morning, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is for you, whatever day of the week it is for you. Know that I am grateful to have spent this moment with you, and know that I'm looking forward to sharing even more and more tips on how to heal on this birth warrior journey and how to build the resilience and strength and find the support that you need to move towards the pregnancy and the family that you want. Okay, so thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.